jab, and then the last minute turn it into a hook.
Gotta go, guys.
That's what speed does right there. They make you doubt yourself.
Number 7.
I think it was an amazing performance. Shouts out to Ryan, he's a world champ.
Yeah, I think he's a great fighter. What a great performance. If ultimately, you know, Ryan can get it next, I believe that's the plans. If he wants it, he can get it next.
Amazing. The kid looked amazing. I'm not here to do interviews right now. I lost my ride. I'm not doing interviews.
Super shot.
Yeah.
Ryan in there doing his big one. He on top of his shit. He fast, he sharp, instincts, everything. It seemed like everything working for him tonight.
Ryan looked pretty strong. He looked sharp. You know, I said that he'll probably get him out of there in like 11-10. He feeling good, but he ain't do that. But he was looking sharp though.
I'm surprised he didn't call me out. Oh, he didn't want to get back. I want to go call out some tiny dude named.
After the shocking clash between Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, boxing pros couldn't stay silent. Inside T-Mobile Arena, the atmosphere felt electric. 12 grueling rounds for the WBC welterweight title had just unfolded, and not a single fan was seated when it ended. Momentum shifted constantly with sharp adjustments, punishing body shots, and elite-level tension, keeping everyone locked in until the final bell. But the real story began after the fight when cameras captured the stunned reactions of boxing legends ringside, revealing that something far bigger than a victory or defeat had just taken place.
Masterclass performance. That jab he was popping, the way he was calm, cool, collective, literally. But I love the fact that he was using his combinations, and he stuck to the game plan. You know, he just had to stay calm. That's it. Wow. Have fun. I was yelling, "Have fun! Just reset."
Something about this fight shifted the entire welterweight conversation overnight. One face stood out immediately: Terrence Crawford. But wasn't watching casually, he was studying every detail. Seated just rose from the ring, Crawford leaned forward from the opening bell, eyes locked and barely blinking through the intense exchanges. And the fight intensified in the middle rounds. Cameras caught Terrence Crawford nodding slowly, the kind of nod fighters give when they recognize real skill. Late in the bout, he stood up with arms folded, studying every adjustment as it unfolded in real time. Afterward, a short interview clip surfaced where Crawford described what he witnessed as high-level adjustments under pressure. That phrase alone ignited debate. He wasn't talking about excitement. He was pointing to ring intelligence, praising the composure shown in the championship rounds, and the discipline maintained even as fatigue began to set in.
Ryan was just too sharp for Barrios. He was just too sharp. You know what I mean? Because Barrios couldn't get out. He couldn't get out. He landed, Ryan landed everything he wanted to land. That hook was ugly.
The way both fighters recalibrated when momentum shifted stood out. When reporters pressed Terrence Crawford about fighting them next, he offered no clear answer, just a slight smile of pause, and a calm "we'll see" which said enough. But he wasn't the only undefeated mindset present. David Benavidez was also ringside, locked in from the opening bell. No distractions, no phone, just pure focus on every exchange. I prefer this response.
Man, he looked good. He had good jab, good movement, good body shots, and bro, his speed is crazy. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a lot of good fights from him at 147. This is a good bounce back from him because this is coming back from his first loss. I mean, from his loss with Woolley, and now he's a world champion again. So, not only did he gain his confidence back, gain his mojo back, and now he's going to be a force to be reckoned with at 147.
After the fight, David Benavidez called a war that showcased pure heart. He emphasized the physicality, pointing to bodywork and relentless pressure that defined the middle rounds. He admitted he was surprised by how well both fighters handled the intensity, calling it more than speed versus size. It was mental endurance. Benavidez also made a comment that stood out, saying the welterweight division had become interesting, not just exciting, hinting at dangerous possibilities ahead. Soon after, social media erupted when Devin Haney entered the conversation with his own reaction. Devin Haney didn't need a press conference to make noise. He needed just one post. Shortly after the fight ended, Haney dropped a cryptic message levels. That was it. No names, no explanation, just a single word that instantly sent fans into detective mode. Within minutes, timelines filled with speculation. Was he calling out defensive lapses he saw in the fight? Was he questioning ring IQ under pressure? Or was this his way of saying he operates on a completely different tier? Later, Haney expanded just enough to keep the conversation alive without giving too much away. He pointed out that the fight revealed both defensive gaps and flashes of elite timing. That balance of critique and respect made his stance difficult to pin down. On one hand, he acknowledged the skill on display. On the other, he hinted that there's still another level above what fans just witnessed. He also emphasized a key truth in boxing championship. Rounds separate the good from the great. That single statement fueled hours of debate across boxing platforms. Some fans agreed with his assessment, while others accused him of subtly throwing shade. Either way, Haney inserted himself directly into the conversation without ever raising his voice. Then came the calm perspective of a legend. Manny Pacquiao watched the fight with the composed expression of someone who has lived through wars like that himself. When asked for his thoughts, Pacquiao didn't focus on controversy or scoring. He focused on heart. He praised a relentless pace across all 12 rounds and highlighted the willingness of both fighters to engage when it mattered most. To him, the fight felt like a throwback to classic Las Vegas nights where momentum swings keep fans guessing, and both corners are forced to think under pressure. Pacquiao also pointed to speed exchanges and the real-time adjustments that defined the fight. He emphasized hunger, the kind that can't be faked. According to him, you could see it in the fighters' body language between rounds, in the urgency of their movements, and in the way neither man backed down when fatigue started to creep in. That kind of endorsement carries serious weight, especially coming from someone who built a career on intensity, resilience, and fearless competition. But if Pacquiao was calm and reflective, Oscar de la Hoya was the complete opposite. De la Hoya couldn't hide his emotions throughout the night. Cameras repeatedly caught him on his feet, reacting to exchanges, shouting instructions, and visibly riding every shift in momentum. At one point, he even clutched his head in disbelief after a dramatic swing in control. After the fight, De La Hoya described it as one of the most explosive welterweight bouts in recent memory. He insisted that the performance answered critics who had questioned durability and discipline coming into the matchup. But what really grabbed attention was his hint at massive future opportunities. He didn't mention names, but in boxing that kind of statement rarely comes without something already brewing behind the scenes. It suggested that conversations, at least informally, may already be taking shape for what comes next. Then came a more technical breakdown from Shakur Stevenson, who approached the fight with a completely different lens. Where others reacted emotionally, Stevenson analyzed. He pointed out defensive lapses during key mid-round exchanges, particularly when momentum began to shift. According to him, small positioning errors at the elite level can quickly turn into major openings, and this fight had several of those moments. Still, Stevenson didn't ignore what went right. He praised the composure shown in the later rounds, especially when pressure and fatigue could have easily led to mistakes. He highlighted timing as the true difference maker in crucial sequences, arguing that precision, not raw power, dictated many of the fight's biggest moments. His calm, detail-oriented perspective stood in sharp contrast to the chaos fans experienced watching live, and that contrast only made the overall discussion even more compelling. Within minutes of the final bell, the boxing world erupted online. Slow-motion clips of the most dramatic exchanges flooded social media. Analysts began breaking down foot placement, punch selection, and defensive positioning. Trainers debated who truly controlled the championship rounds. Fighters posted subtle reactions, without naming names, adding another layer of intrigue. Hashtags trended globally as debate panels went live almost instantly. Some voices argued that the fight reshaped the welterweight hierarchy overnight. Others pushed back, questioning long-term stamina, defensive consistency, and how these performances would translate against different styles. What started as one fight quickly evolved into a much larger conversation about the future of the entire division. And that's where things get serious. The WBC welterweight landscape suddenly feels wide open. The presence of elite names circling the division adds immediate intrigue. Haney's comments suggest there may be unfinished business, or at least a desire to prove a point. Promoters are already hinting at blockbuster matchups that could redefine the division's direction. Now multiple storylines are colliding at once: potential rivalries, redemption arcs, stylistic clashes, and unresolved debates. One night in Las Vegas didn't just deliver action, it shifted narratives across the sport. And boxing thrives on moments exactly like this, moments where uncertainty creates opportunity. After the shocking fight between Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios, boxing pros didn't just applaud, they analyzed, reacted, and quietly positioned themselves for what comes next. Ringside legends recognize something significant. Social media is still debating. Fighters are still watching closely. And now the biggest question isn't what happened inside those 12 rounds. It's who will step forward next and turn all this tension into the next mega fight.